Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division for the Glenmonarch mini tournament. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, so let's go. We're gonna start directly with the drive here on hole number 1. Here I would suggest that if you could use a ball with side spin, use a ball with side spin. Use a side spin 2 ball, which could be the Quasar with power 1, or a Katana which has a power 2 but side spin 3. Both of them very valuable balls here to play with. It could work with a power 0 ball as well with no side spin, but it's going to be trickier to get the ball to stay on fairway. If we can just get the drive to stay on fairway, we are going to be having a very good opportunity for the green in 2. Last detail for the drive is that this ball is going to be affected more by the wind from tee, so we will have to over adjust our shot 10%. Also, in this playthrough, you will be able to see all the recordings on many of the holes here. Reason being is that you cannot find any of the Glenmonarch Estates hole from the front tee in regular tour play. So I had to cut some older recordings to be able to provide a guide for you all now before the tournament starts. There will be a new playthrough once the tournament gets out. And I will of course come to that then. If you do want to take a look at all the hole guides, all the rest of the playthrough, all the content for the mini tournament, you can do that by joining, or not joining, but log on to golfclashtommy.com and press tournament, and then go to the tournament page called the Glenmonarch mini tournament. Second shot is going to be under adjusted, so we're going to play that one uphill, and when you play it under adjusted, it means that the ball is less affected by the wind. So we compensate by doing a shot like that by, under adjusting our initial adjustment. We bounce on the fairway before the green, as I feel that's the more consistent one. I do see we are going for the fringe here, which I'm not really a fan of. So I would go on the fairway before the green and then bounce ourselves up towards the pin. Once again, don't forget to over adjust the drive and then to under adjust your second shot, and then you're gonna be fine. And we're gonna see a lot of eagles on this hole, I do think. Hole and number 2 is a par 3, where I do feel we have a good chance for an hole in 1. We're going to go for the rough bump. Here I'm playing with the Horizon level 6, so disregard that club, it's the wrong club even though it's in level 6. I would suggest you to play with the Viper or with the Sniper, as it gives you the best accuracy and the better ball guideline to be able to get your to be able to dial it in a better way. I do want you to play with 1 to 1.5 bar backspin. You don't have to use any side spin, but the most importantly is to over adjust your shot 10%. And when you do that, you're going to see the ball being close, and you're going to definitely give yourself a good chance making a hole in 1 on hole number 2. See it bounce in the rough very nicely, and it rolls towards the pin. Hole number 3, now we come to the first par 5, and this is going to be a tricky one, and where we will have to decide after the drive what to do for the second shot. We're gonna come to that. So we start with the drive. Max side spin to the left, which is 4.5 bar side spin with a Titan, with 4.5 bar top spin, which is the maximum top spin with an XMI level 5. Also, even below us, I think to XMI level 2 do have 4.5 bar top spin. I'm going to aim in maximum distance, and I'm going to use the curl I'm having on my club, which is around 25 to 30% of the ball outside the adjustment range to the left, and I'm going to over adjust the drive 10%. And once again, when we do over adjust, it means that the ball is affected more by the wind than normal, and therefore we over adjust our initial adjustment with 10%. Now we do get over here to the fairway, and from this distance we do have a decision to make. We do have a power 3 ball, which means that we can reach pretty far. We do unfortunately have the Viper, which is a club that doesn't give us that much distance. So that's the wrong club. We would love to play with the Big Dog instead of playing with the Viper, as Big Dog would give us at least like an 8 to 10 yards extra, and that is very valuable here. It also gives us topspin, because topspin is a way as well to approach the pin in 2. We are not going for the albatross here. I don't think I ever made an albatross on this very tough par 5. So I'm basically just going for the green if I can. But if I do have a situation like this, where I can't use the rough on the left side of the centered bunker, or I can't bounce before the bunker, then I'm just going to lay up as close to the rough line on top and I'm going to then approach the pin with a very short wedge or with a short iron when it comes to that. The second shot is not going to be over or under adjusted anything. It's going to be played just as it is. The only thing there for the third shot, if you do lay up, is that the ball is going to be under adjusted 10%. So in this case, we lay up and we are going to be able to chip it in from distance. So now we are there. We're going to have a wedge towards the pin. Very tough one. You're going to see a lot of people dropping a birdie here instead of an eagle. So if you get an eagle here, see that as an advantage over your opponents. Hole number 4, we come to the easiest par 3, and I would say not the easiest hole maybe, but the easiest par 3 by far in this tournament. 1.5 bar topspin is what I use. I would like for us to play with 2 bars. And of course, if we do have a crosswind or a headwind, it's going to change a little bit. We're going to use the right side of the green. Now I'm aiming a little bit too much to the right, but more towards the right side than to the left side of the green, as there is a road for the ball to roll on the green up towards the pin. Waiting for the rough bump just before the green, and make sure that you do play with a 10% over adjustment, as you otherwise would be going too far. This is once again easy par 3 where there will be no problem for a birdie, but very good chance making a hole in one. We go directly to hole number 5, where we do have 2 options to play this hole. One, we lay up. We lay up, as you can see there on the bottom left of the game screen. And you can see me going with my club down there, and here it would be for you to play with a wood club to actually lay up, and then you have a wood club towards distance. That route would make you have a shot towards the pin every single time, but it's going to be more or less a birdie route. If you do try to do what I do, is to try to get the ball to as close to the top as possible, that is going to be an easier time to get the ball to approach the pin for an eagle. But there is a lot of risks with this drive. Is that first, we do need to play with as minimum a power 2 ball, so we do have the distance for the second shot. I'm playing with a power 0 ball, so I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot. The second part is that when it comes to the distance of our drive, we need to be very close to the rough on top. That now when I went this short, and especially with a power 0 ball, I will not be able to have a shot towards the pin. It's going to be a very tough rough bump that I'm going to try to attempt, and that is not something that I would like you to attempt because it's too risky. And but I'm always trying to find a way where we can approach the pin from distance, even though we lay up. So you can see here 5.7, and look, now I'm in between clubs. That's due to the less distance I'm getting with my drive, combined with not having at least a power 2 ball playing with. So I'm going for the rough bump, which in itself is not going to be something good. So I would rather, if you find yourself in a spot like this, rather use the backspin on your long iron, just lay it on the green and put it in for a birdie, and see it as, okay, you screwed it up with your drive, and just take it for what it is, and just take the birdie, and don't risk doing anything else that could risk the birdie and maybe cost you big time and get your par. We don't have many opportunities now in the mini hole tournament. We cannot, go again on the back 9, as we only have 9 holes. Hole number 6 here, we're going to over adjust the drive 10% as a start, very important. And now when I play with a power 0 ball, it's going to be purely to lay up and go for the pin from distance. If we do have a tailwind in our back and we do play with that minimum power 3 ball, there is it's a very tiny chance, or very little chance, but there is a chance to get to the green in 2 with our second shot. But that is not something that I look at on this hole. I do look at that more for pro and expert and maybe in master, but for the drive here, we just lay up, over adjusting our drive, and then for the second shot, we're just gonna lay up that as well, and then we're going to approach the pin from distance using either a wood club or a long iron. But so you do have some fault margin with your drive here, so you could hit great left, great right. There is so much fairway to play on, so this is a very easy drive. You don't have to be close to the rough on top, so don't risk that. Just lay up and be in somewhere around this. Even you can be 10-15 yards shorter as well, and have no problem with that. The second shot, I like to take the left route. I know there's a possibility to play over to this fairway pad here and bounce over to the island there to the right, or like the fairway island there to the right. But I feel that it's going to be easier for us to just get it over here, the fairway. Here you can see where, like, one thing really. I'm going to use curl to get myself over there nicely. But if you would be playing with a ball with side spin, you don't really have to play with curl. So if you do want to spend a ball with side spin from the start, a Quasar Katana would be perfect. And then you will have no problem to get this ball over here without using a big bunch of curl. A little bit of curl would be good, but not like a big bunch as I'm using here. Getting it over there, you can see now we have an open shot towards the pin, and we're going to play that with either the long iron or with a wood club. Unfortunately, in this scenario, I'm getting in between clubs, and that is definitely not something that I would enjoy being in the tournament. So we'll have to lay up at the spot where we do feel that we do have a chance towards the pin. And that makes me get back to the ball again. The basic ball doesn't have any extra power. With a power 1 or a power 2, we wouldn't be having this problem. So I do feel that if you can spend a power 1 or a power 2 ball, make sure that you do that, so you're not going to risk being in between clubs for the second shot. To just here in the end to take the elevation adjustment once again. And for the drive, the ball is going to be affected more by the wind, so we do add the 10%. The second shot, the ball is going to not be affected by the wind anything. The third shot, the ball is going to be affected more by the wind again. So there we need to add 10% once again. And here you can see we're coming in between clubs, and this is not going to be a good approach. So we're going to have to stay away from that. And the normal approach on this hole towards the pin is 2 to 4 bars of backspin, aim for the pin, and then you're going to be close. Last but not least, but last part 3 in this playthrough is going to have a darker view. Then you maybe wonder, is it going to be dark when we play? No, it's not. It's like I said from the beginning, some of the holes are older holes. And like all the recordings, but the hole is played the same. So in that case, I'm using this recording as I cannot find any other video from the front tee with this hole, except for the one here having dark. You're gonna see the same on hole number 8. 20% extra is needed to play here for on this very tough par 3. I don't see many hole in ones happen here, but there is basically 2 ways. Either we bounce before the water, and we take a risk that if we mess up, we're going to be in the water, using 1.5 bar topspin or even 2 bars of topspin if we do have like a crosswind or a headwind. And if we do have a lower level guardian, you will see that on our opponent now. He has a guardian level 4, but even for those of you having a guardian level 1 or level 2, then you can take away the water using max backspin, go directly at the green and adjust and approach the pin there from this instead of risking going into the water. That's something you will have to decide, but once again, it's going to be a 20% extra adjustment needed to be done, as the ball is affected more by the wind when you approach the pin here. Hole number 8, once again darker view, and also disregard the clubs I'm using here. It's an older recording, so I couldn't use my rookie account to get this recorded. So here I would say use a driver if we want to play with a power 0 ball or a power 1 ball, an extra mile in whatever level. It can be level 1, but also it could be a level 8. Then you play with that club. If you do have a quarterback in at least level 8, you can play with a power 3 ball. And to play the same type of shot I'm using here, I'm doing here with Apocalypse level 5, and the same shot you would be doing with an extra mile level 1 to level 8. We do just want the ball to bounce here forward using somewhere around 3 to 5 bars of topspin. We lay up, and now we do have a good opportunity towards the pin. We're going to have to adjust, over adjust our shot for the drive, as the ball is a little bit more affected by the wind as we play downhill. So add 10%, and once again, for all the elevation adjustment, you can find them on golfclashtommy.com for all the holes in this tournament, but also for all the holes in the regular tour plays as well. Lay up there, playing with a power 0 ball, and now the approach is going to be with a short iron. You choose the short iron you feel the most comfortable with, because it's an open shot. We don't have any obstacles. We don't need side spin. Sorry, we don't need backspin. We don't need curl. We don't need anything like that, and we don't really need anything. We can play it without any spin whatsoever. Sure, a good accuracy and a good ball guideline would be helpful, but not something that is crucial. Good chance here. We don't have to over or under adjust this shot anything, as it's going to be just pure the same short iron. For the whole 8 here, once again 10% downhill for the drive. For the second shot, is not going to be under or over adjusted anything. And yeah, and I want to be very clear with the clubs that I'm using here is only due to the fact that I didn't have the option to record for my rookie account, but I'm definitely going to have that when it comes to when the tournament starts. Hole number 9, last but not least, and here I'm playing with a power 0 ball. I would suggest though to make it as easy as possible for you to play with a Titan. And I'm not saying that just because, oh, we can reach with a basic ball and then we can just show off playing with a Titan. No, it's because we're going to have to max over power the shot for the second shot to get the ball to even get remotely close towards the pin. The thing that also would be good is side spin for the drive. You can see I'm using curl to the left, and without using curl you will have to use side spin. So a side spin could be good, but I would suggest to go with a little bit of curl to the left, and do not forget to over adjust the drive. It's going to be an over adjustment of 15%, and once again, when it comes to over adjustment, it's going to be something that we do when the ball is affected more by the wind than normal. The second shot is going to be played uphill. It's because we are playing that one uphill, means that the ball is going to be less affected by the wind. So it's the opposite as we play downhill. And both the opponent makes an excellent shot and he plays with a big dog, and that's the same that I'm going to do. The big dog here is the club, using the 4 bars of topspin that I'm having on the big dog level 3, and the plan is to bounce on the fairway into the rough to then roll out, giving myself a wedge either from the fairway or from the fringe. In a best case scenario, we're gonna roll that far that we're gonna get a putt, but I don't want to roll as our opponent did, because a long putt on this green is going to make you have to overpower, and that's going to be very tough. So now we do lay up there, and we do have a wedge there towards the pin, which is going to be a possibility. But here we can change to play with a power 3 ball once again. The Titan is highly suggested if you do have some, but there is a possibility to make an eagle here as well. And I do think, unfortunately, there will be players missing the eagle here, and if you do make an eagle, it's going to be an advantage, especially once again when there isn't that much practice. So this was the playthrough for Rookie Division for the Glenmonarch mini tournament. And you can find all the holes combined with this playthrough on golf-tommy.com, and of course here on the YouTube channel as well. And if you do have any questions, let me know in the comment section below, or send us an email through the contact form on the website, and we will be happy to assist you there. There will be holes out for pro and expert, as you can find on the channel and also on the website, combined with text guides. So a lot of content for the mini tournament, and I will obviously be streaming when it comes, and I will then be updating the playthroughs as we go, so you can get more pinpointed directions in those playthroughs. Sign up on Patreon if you do want to get some detailed text guides for the mini tournament. Video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the tournament.